Hi, my name is Becky. I'm with A Shepard Her Mut Farms. I'm here local. I just live up the road ways. I breed ducks is really my main thing. Well, Charlie Quinns, and I have a Shepard and her Mut. And she kind of rules the house. So this is my vanilla hobby that's turned into more of a business, but I'm not becoming a millionaire. I'm more spending millions. Okay, so the vanilla process takes a long time. I had a plant. I forgot my plant at home. Sorry. The vanilla is an orchid. It likes hot, humid conditions. It is a vine, so it has to grow up in a tree or up in a a trellis of some type. It gets to about 30 meters long, so it's pretty long. And they grow capsules that once the flower blooms, it's hand pollinated, and then they grow capsules that look similar to a green bean. This is a green bean. So, and then you get little clusters of capsules from each flower. So then the vanilla bean, after it's grown, it is fermented, and it turns into the ultimate vanilla bean that you know. So here's the process. So once we pick it from the vine, that takes 9 months for this to mature from the flower. So it's a long process. So you take it from the vine, and then you have to what they call kill it. So this will continue to grow even after you pick it, so they want to stop the process. So what they do is they boil it, blanch it. It takes about 1 minute to 2 minutes of boiling water. They'll stop. Once they're done, they'll put them into a wool blanket. All the ones I've seen online are all ugly colors, so that's why I have an ugly wool blanket here. It's all done by hand. So they'll wrap it up in a wool blanket, and then they're going to stick it inside the box, any kind of sealed box. This is raw wood. It would be some kind of sealed wood, so it doesn't absorb the flavors of the wood. They stick it in a box, and then they leave it there for 2 weeks and just let it steam. They keep the box warm, the bag, whatever they're putting it in, and they keep it warm for 2 weeks. So what that does is helps begin the process of making vanillin, which is what vanilla ultimately comes from. So after 2 weeks, they take it out of the box and they put it out in the sunshine. And all these little green beans will start to turn brown. They'll all look kind of wilted and brown. Just going to put those off to the side. So they'll not be this dark, but they're going to be not green either. They're going to be kind of in between. So the farmers that are farming these will keep big giant blankets out in the sunshine or on tables, and it's either on the ground or on a table, and then they wrap them up at night, every night, and then the next day they bring them back out and they unwrap it, and then they put them back in every day for between 1 and 6 months. So it's a long process to get from the tree, or from the vine, sorry, from the vine all the way to here. And then after it's done there, they put it back in the box again and keep it in there for another couple weeks to a month so that they can continue to develop their flavors. If you were to eat a vine a capsule straight from the vine, it would taste like, I don't know if you've ever smelled an orchid, but it would taste more like an orchid. It's not a very pleasant taste. It tastes nothing like vanilla though. Okay, so after they do that, then they're shipped. These are from, this particular set's from Madagascar. 80% of all our vanilla in the world is made in Madagascar, grown in Madagascar. And then they all hand ferment it. Again, it's hand pollinated, hand fermented. It's a long, arduous process. Okay, once the vanilla is made and sent to the consumer, usually you get them in the stores, right, in these little tiny bottles. I got this from Publix last week. $10 for one dinky little thing. Will it work? Yeah. There's nothing wrong with this. It doesn't have a lot of flavor. So if anybody would like to smell this and compare it to a big one, you can come up and smell it. So So there you go. And then hand this one around with it if you want to just hand them around. So you can smell a big one versus an old crusty one from Publix.
Feels a lot different too.
Yeah, it's crunchier. There's nothing wrong with that vanilla. It's just different because it's older and it's smaller. It's different grades. They come from different areas of the world. Just like coffee beans, they take on different aspects of different areas of the world. So that big giant one that's being passed around, it's similar to this one. That's also a Madagascar bean. And it just depends on where they're growing and how much they have dehydrated it down. So it makes a big difference. So to do alcohol, just pass that.
Why does that smell like tobacco?
Because it's been kept in a box and they're fermented in these dark tones. So this is a darker flavor profile. So this one will be this one's a little different. And then this one is even different still. So it just depends on where they're grown. Just like your coffee beans. Again, are Colombia beans the same as the ones you get over in Africa? No, they're completely different. Everybody, fights over what's the best coffee, Sumatra, or I like Monsoon Malabar, personally. But I have Uganda beans here, and they smell like chocolate, so at least in my mind. Okay, so once they're made, then we're going to cut them open. Hold on one second. And you get you get all these beautiful little beans that come from the inside. Thank you very much. From the inside of the bean. You get the seeds. These are the seeds of the bean. Okay, is this where all your flavor is? So according to the Food Network, this is the only spot there's flavor in the bean, and they throw the rest of that bean away. No, there's actually more flavor in the pod itself than there is in the seed. The seeds just look pretty. So is there ways to utilize this otherwise? Yes, you make an extract. So according to the FDA, you need 1 ounce of beans to 8 ounces of alcohol. So those giant beans I had, the 3 of them is just over 1 ounce. This set is a Uganda, just over 1 ounce. So how many beans? You'll see online that it'll be, oh, put 5 beans in your alcohol and that's all you need. Well, no, that's not really true. You need, according to the FDA, which we all love the government around here, I'm sure. You need a little bit more than just 5 beans, but not necessarily. If you're putting 5 beans like this in, that's a lot of alcohol. So what you do is you take your alcohol. This is a local moonshine. Doesn't matter what type of alcohol. This is a St. Pete's vodka. And you can either put it straight in the bottle. You can put it either straight in the bottle. Come on. Or you can put it in a jar. So this is this. That's the same stuff. So I put this in yesterday, so you can see how dark the alcohol has become overnight, just sitting in this jar. So it does begin to extract very fast, but this isn't gonna smell like vanilla. It's gonna still smell like alcohol for 6 months to a year. Okay. So if you do a dark alcohol like bourbon or whiskey or rum, something that's a dark rum, not a white rum, then it's going to take even longer. So I say 2 years on a dark alcohol and a year on a clear alcohol. The alcohol has to be about 70 to 120 proof, according to the FDA. I like 80 to 100 is kind of my range. And again, it doesn't matter what alcohol you use, just as long as you're not using below 70. If you use below 70, you can get mold because there's not enough alcohol in it to actually kill off the mold. So these can actually grow mold very, very quickly. So when you put it in your alcohol, you want to completely submerge the beans. So this is a bad way to do the alcohol, to do the extraction. You need to completely submerge it. would fill this whole jar up. So this is what? 6. Hang on. Okay, so that's 6 cups. So what, 48 ounces? I'm sorry, I can't calculate in my head. So for every 8 ounces or 1 cup of alcohol, you need 1 ounce of beans. So in this one, I have 1 ounce already. So we're gonna have to add 1, 2, 3 more ounces. So I have to add all of these beans in there for it to be FDA compliant. Before I just stick them in there, I'm going to chop them up a little bit. So if you want to keep one pretty, so you can take the seeds out and put it in your ice cream so it's got nice little speckles, you can keep them in their whole. But go and take half of them or whatever and just chop them up so that there's more surface area touching the alcohol. Because again, that bean, where did I put the one? The bean that you leave cut open, the inside of the pod will be exposed to the alcohol as well as the outside, and therefore you're going to get a better extraction out of your bean, and you can make it last a lot longer. After you're done with your bean, your extraction is complete, and you have a nice flavor. You can smell it. It smells like vanilla extract. It doesn't smell like alcohol anymore. And then what do you do with your beans? Do you throw them in the trash? No. You stick them in the dehydrator or in the oven, and you dehydrate them, and you can make them into a powder. The other thing you can do is put them in sugar. You just take them straight out of your extract, put them straight into sugar, and make vanilla sugar. This stuff is really, really good. So I have some samples here of little sugar cubes, if anybody wants to taste them. They're delicious. The other thing you could do is put them in salt. That will preserve them. So as long as they're completely enclosed under alcohol, sugar, or salt, then you're not going to get the mold growth. But if you don't have the complete coverage, then they will mold over time. Doesn't mean it's going to happen tomorrow, but it will happen. So if you're not into alcohol, glycerin. You can use glycerin, and glycerin makes like a nice gel. Hang on. You can see here, it's more thick. So I also have a vanilla bean paste where you make it a thick extract. So that way it's easier to spoon, but you use it just exactly the same as you would extract. It's just different products and different ways to make it. And I think that's